Thanks for joining us on the program, everyone. We're keeping tabs with events and happenings in the polity. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. You can join the conversation on X, formerly Twitter, using the hashtag Beyond 100 Days. Beyond 100 Days, rather. It's all eyes on President Bola Tinubu's address to world leaders at the ongoing United Nations General Assembly holding in New York. The president is advocating global sanctions on companies and persons illegally smuggling arms and minerals in and out of Africa. His speech also captured Nigeria's interest in business partnership with other countries of the world. He said poor governance and broken promises have negatively affected Africa, adding that unfair treatment and outright foreign exploitation have stunted the continent's progress. President Tinubu, as chairman of ECOWAS, also expressed concern over the situation in Niger Republic, seeking international support for the return of democracy. He also affirmed that democracy remains the best way to guarantee a better society. Let's begin with a review of the first day of the United Nations General Assembly. Patrick Coker is a former spokesman, UN Mission in Sierra Leone. He joins me live from London. Thank you for joining us on the program. So it's called the United Nations, but right now it seems anything but united. 4 of the permanent members of the UN Secretary Council are absent for this year's summit. What does it mean for the UN's central effort of global peace and security?
It is quite interesting that some members did not attend, but obviously it's a global issue and it is not new. However, if we go through the theme of this year's UN General Assembly, it calls for unity amongst members. And definitely, even if some members are not there, their permanent representatives to the UN will be attending and they will be speaking, because most of the nations have their turn to make their contribution towards the theme.
So we're hearing calls for greater collaboration amid what is an apparent global fragmentation. As we speak, diplomatic relations between Canada and India is at an all-time low, and the Russia-Ukraine war is still headlining this summit. Is the UN facing one of its biggest tests of all times, and is it showing signs it will pass it?
Well, the UN will always be that body that steps up between nations. It's just characteristics for a nation to have issues, but that does not mean that they can't be resolved. The UN will continue, even till today, will continue to be that platform where these countries can resolve their bickerings and issues. And I believe that indeed, most of these issues can always be resolved in time.
Interesting development as we follow closely what's happening in New York. The Ukraine president yesterday outrightly questioned Russia's membership of the United Nations, raising some very serious allegations of Russia weaponizing food, energy, and even artificial intelligence. Will Africa get the deserved spotlight in this high-level deliberation, or you think the continent should look elsewhere?
Well, I must commend here our president and his applause, and the fact that he, in a very focused and prosaic speech, subtly gave a punchy message to the world. And he said, look, you have to bring Africa to the table. You have to deal, there must be mutual respect and mutual benefit for Africa. And now you will find out that the president, not just representing Nigeria, also projected Africa. So it became a voice. And I must say, this is quite personal, but I believe many people will have this opinion. He brought back the diminishing position Nigeria was supposed to have occupied even before now. Now is bringing Nigeria to the table and saying, look, we're ready to be the champion of this continent. And I believe that going forward, partners will come to Africa, not just meeting people with caps, ready to collect.
Indeed.
But they'll be meeting people who are ready to engage on a level or at a level where everybody will benefit.
Well, looking forward to it, and we're also counting on it, hoping that the words we're hearing will be matched with action. Patrick Coker is former spokesman, UN Mission, Sierra Leone. He joins us live from London. Thank you for talking to us, Mr. Coker.
Thank you.
All right, so let's get some feedback as to the president's speech in New York earlier this morning. We asked the question on X, formerly Twitter, what are your thoughts as to what you heard the president say? And it's been quite interesting, quite a number of them saying, and this is from Atunde Bali, I commend President Tinubu on his advocacy for a genuine partnership for Nigeria's development, consequences of broken promises, unfair treatment and exploitation, which means maims Nigeria's advancement, and a declaration that Nigeria is open for foreign investors to do business. We also got this from Sam Olorunfemi Jr., a fantastic and timely speech by Mr. President. It indicates that Nigeria is rich in potential minerals and human resources, and that that will enable the businesses of foreign investors to thrive. Nigeria deserves better treatment by the international community. For Sani Abu, the speech is loaded with deep message and a strong warning to the world that Africa will be great. The speech delivered by Mr. President gives a message of hope that the continent will rise no matter the obstacles. Excellent delivery by Mr. President. Quite some positive remarks for the president's position. All right, he spoke for Africa. This is from Oluwatobiloba, not just Nigeria. That was beautiful to see. Africa, please stand tall. I hope we live to enjoy the African continent under the African sky, not sweeping streets in Western countries. Proudly Nigerian, proudly Africa. Perhaps Mr. President made some Africans proud with his submission for Yusuf Sulaiman. It's the best speech ever from a president from this continent. You can keep your comments also coming if you use the hashtag beyond 100 days. Remember to tag at TVC News NG and at Nifemi Oguntoye. Sadiq Ahmed says it can be described in 3 words: instructive, Afrocentric, and captivating. Thank you for sending your tweets, everyone. I'm joined live from our Abuja studio by public affairs analyst and social media influencer, Woye Adeyemi, for more on the president's speech at the United Nations General Assembly. Mr. Adeyemi, thank you for joining us on the program this evening. President Tinubu made what seems a firm and compelling declaration in New York, and is now called on UN member states to show with their actions that they mean what they say. What do you make of his first speech at the General Assembly?
Good evening. Thanks for having me. The president's speech yesterday was excellently delivered. In fact, I will rate his speech higher than the one he delivered during his swearing in or inaugural day. It touched every aspect from local content to West African sub-region, to Africa, and to the world. Indeed, he said, don't pity Africa. Africa is the next destination for investment. And I think investors will have a higher returns in Africa. So it was marketing Nigeria, marketing Africa in what we can call economic diplomacy. He reiterated, strongly about constitutional democracy in West African sub-region by saying there's no room for a military man to govern our countries. And in fact, President Biden too also emphasized that fact that there's no room again for military coup. So with the kind of sanction that ECOWAS slammed on the J Republic. I believe that very soon the J Republic will return back to constitutional democracy. His speech was fantastic. His speech re-echoed and reaffirmed Nigerian foreign policy since 60s as per African centerpiece. That is African centric. So we as Nigerians, I mean, when I was watching him earlier this morning, I was very proud, and that's one of the best speeches I've ever heard from him since he was a governor and national leader of APC, and now the Nigerian president. It was awesome.
Like you said, there are quite a number of people who agrees with you that his speech may be bringing back the days of Africa being the centerpiece of the country's foreign policy. But I'm concerned about what this speech would mean in earnest, particularly when you hear him call out foreign entities aiding local criminals who illegally mine gold and other resources. What do you make of his case for the continent among world leaders, and how much impact do you think this would have moving forward?
I think United Nations General Assembly must make a very strong statement against international criminals, especially in the areas of mining. If you look at Congo or DRC or Guinea Republic, even Nigeria here, we have to make, there must be a resolution. Nigeria must lead a committee of nations to raise it in General Assembly, and at the same time to raise the issue again at United Nations Security Council. And especially, let us have a criminal justice system that would deal with these international criminals and the countries of origin. The countries involved, the countries the countries that nationals are involved, should also cooperate with us in order to stem this tide, so that serious investors, we can create jobs, we can increase our revenue in African region. So I think he has made a case. So it's left for African ambassadors in UN to take it up and then form a discussion. Let us have a General Assembly resolution on this issue, such that even though resolution of General Assembly is not binding, but we can actually take it from the sense that each country be morally obliged to be able to protect Africans and to deal with those criminals. Because those criminals are in Guinea, are in Congo, and they have, there's a buyer and there's a supplier. So we need to do that particular issue. It should be collective responsibilities of everybody. In fact, I would suggest that we should have a conference, a special conference that would deal with this issue, and we will now have a resolution or communicate that we can implement, so that we can reduce these criminal activities. Of course, we cannot eliminate them, but at least let us reduce it to barest minimum of 85%.
Important that other countries, the developed countries, are also not looking away, particularly where there are mercenaries and expatriates from their countries who are found culpable in this regard. There are quite a number of expatriates that have been arrested, even in Nigeria, for illegal mining and things of that nature. But we saw the president take his foreign direct investment drive to the UN earlier this morning. He's asking for direct investment in critical industries and the opening of ports to African exports. He's also called for what he described as a meaningful debt relief. How important are these for Nigeria and the continent?
You see, I will, first of all, let me commend him for raising the issue of debt relief again. I will look at it from the angle that the multilateral institutions, that they should review and they should look at the debt servicing percentage in order to help us be able to free those resources that we are spending today in servicing debt and debt, hanging on our neck. So for me, I think I will commend him for that. But at the same time, what Africa needs is investment in order to increase revenue. So, and then Africa also needs to strengthen the judiciary. Our judicial system is very key for an investor to be able to have the confidence that there's any dispute, we can actually resolve it on time. So for us in Nigeria, and perhaps one of the things before I said that about criminals in mining, National Assembly also need to strengthen the law in terms of solid minerals law, mining law, such that we can even have a specialized court to deal with the issues, such that those criminals, both local and foreigners, will be dealt with. Because I heard that the Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, was talking about $700 billion of mining. I'm sure it's above that particular figure. But the issue is that we have so many illegal miners in Nigeria. So if we can deal, even locally, we can deal with that particular structure of criminal people, and we can strengthen mine police. You see, if you can strengthen mine police that specialize in dealing with security dealing with mining activities, we'll be able to have more investment. You see, if we have more investment, we have more revenue, we can be able to restructure our debt. Even if we get debt relief today and we don't have the structure, we will come back to the same issue later on. So the best thing is for us to be able to get a judicial system that is workable, that they can dispense justice as quickly as possible, and then so that investors will have confidence to be able to stay in Nigeria. But from India to UN, we've done well in terms of attracting investment. That's right.
Climate change, Mr. Boye, the president is saying that even though Africa has the political will to fight, the continent must do it on their own terms. And that's just hitting the nail on the head, saying that if the continent isn't contributing significantly to the destruction of the ozone layer, why pay for it? At least not at the same measure with which the more industrialized countries or continents of the world should. What are your thoughts about this?
I was very happy when he said so, because if you look at climate conferences, it's just about what international communities are looking for. Now, for us to be able to have, a say in this climate issue, I will align with the president that says they should allow Africans to be able to tell them what we are looking for. Look at it. We have coal in Enugu State. I remember that President Jonathan signed $3.7 billion MOU with a Chinese company to be able to generate 1,200 megawatts electricity in coal. We have coal in Nigeria. They are just using coal in Europe. So we also need to develop our coal, no matter the issue of climate change. So we have to tell them, you can't tell me what's in my house. You can't. I will tell you my needs. So I will align with the president on that issue, and I hope he can also make it a point with his colleagues in Africa, such that we have a common say, a common goal to negotiate what Africans should be able to access, to get from international communities. It should not be on their own terms. It should be our own terms. I support Mr. President in that one.
So in the past few weeks, from France to India to the United Arab Emirates, and now he's in the United States, aggressively pursuing international trade and foreign direct investments. What do you make of the president's efforts? And you are an engineer, so perhaps you can help us break down the economics of these trips. How soon can Nigerians begin to see, the impact of all of these efforts, particularly on the economy?
Yeah, for me, it's a commendable thing. And one key issue the president did was to appoint Dr. Jumake, the office of vice president, on ease of business. That particular aspect, we oppose, even if you get investor from India, France, UAE, US, when you come back home, the bureaucracy at home. Now, with the ease of business in place and with the reduction of the Dr. Jumake there, I'm expecting that those bureaucratic, bottlenecks will be removed, and that the investment will be a reality. Okay, Rivers State government also, in line with what happened in India, they provided another land for Ndorama, such that, there's no point, the CFO is ready. So Nigeria is ready. Nigeria, the investors, I'm sure between now and December, they will have they will put structures in place such that this can generate employment. Because the investment covers area of banking, it covers area of construction, it covers area of security. It also covers area of local content for Nigeria. So, and the more investors we have, we can actually deal with our forest issue too, such that this Naira dollar also will strengthen our Naira, in other words. So, Nigeria is the next place for any serious investors to come in solid minerals, in agriculture.
Because we're wrapping up now, Mr. Woye. It's important that we also highlight what the president said about the fact that the question is not whether Nigeria is open for business. The question is how much of the world is willing or truly open to doing business in Nigeria and Africa. What about the structure back at home? Issues like ease of doing business and also providing an enabling environment for such investments to thrive. Are we there yet as a country?
Yeah, we are maybe from the last administration. If you look at it from the last administration, we have moved a point, upward from where we were before and now. That's this is the issue. Look at the issue of NNPC and NNPC and Durama. The president gave them a timeline that it should be resolved, and it was resolved. So investors should be just coming. Just buy a ticket and come to Nigeria. Nigeria is a place where you can invest and have a higher returns. We have that with the bureaucratic processes. Has been regularized now. So we don't have the need that you have to get custom here, you have to get Ministry of Social Investment here, you have to get Ministry of Social Minerals here. Everybody is now in one place, and then everything is in order. So even our friends, Nigerians in diaspora, that the government is not meeting them, they should come back home and invest. And then the key point is in road infrastructure. We have under the items, we have HDMI, highway maintenance development initiative. Now, highway management development initiative. So that particular aspect, any investor can write to Federal Minister of Works right now, and there are roads. We have about 35,000 kilometer roads. President Buhari was able to take 18,000. Out of that 18,000, like what the president, Minister of Works said, you still have like 14 trillion, unpaid certificates that he met. He has been able to get 4 trillion naira, and he has paid 431 billion naira. So what you need as an investor is to come to Nigeria, and within 3-4 weeks, you will get the approval and you will move in. All those days of 1 year, 2 years, the days are gone. This is a new Nigeria. This is a renewed hope. This is where jobs, revenue. It's a new dawn for the nation.
Well, looking forward to that. I hope that's as simple as you're making it sound. Woya Adeyemi is a public affairs analyst and a social media influencer. Thank you for joining us again on the program.
Okay.
Well, that's our program today. You can watch a repeat broadcast at midnight and at 6 a.m. tomorrow. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Do have a great time.